Update to my vintage style Cantina band member project. I did some digital mock-ups to see whether I would like the necks the way they were or shorter. And almost instantly I could tell I needed to drop that neck down further. It actually solved the problem of it not staying in tight enough, because when I lopped off the very bottom of it and wedged it into the neck hole on the Luke figure, it was a very tight fit and it looked great. So this was the first one. This was my prototype where I actually did the work and shaved out a little bit on the inside of the neck and trimmed the neck post down. And this is it seen from every angle, and I knew this was the route I wanted to go. It looked much more like a mask being worn by a person than it did an alien creature with an elongated neck. So it was the 1977 aesthetic that I was going for. Then I did the work on all 7 of them. And this is real, this is not a digital mock-up. As for the pants, in the movie, there is not nearly as much contrast to those pants as there was on the Hasbro action figures. And on the toy from Kenner, and in the Star Wars Holiday Special, the pants are virtually the same color as the blouses. So I decided not to give it any paint at all, just leave it one continuous color, which is a choice that Kenner probably would have made to keep costs down. And the more I looked at the reference materials with those giant gloved hands and those big masks on those heads, I decided I was going to have to keep the Bith hands rather than keep the Luke hands and paint the black gloved one flesh tone. I tried my best to keep the post from the Bith hands and make it go into the Luke arms. Here are some digital mock-ups showing various ways that I thought it would or wouldn't fit. But when I actually did the cutting on the hands post and then tried to drill a hole big enough into the Luke arm, there just wasn't enough tolerance of plastic for it to work, at least not with my eyesight the way it is now. So, as Tulga had suggested, I went with brute force. Hack and glue, hack and glue. After I took this picture, I realized there was still orangey overspray on the hands that I had neglected to notice. So I then had to take the hands back off of the prototype and strip the paint off of all of the Bith flesh tone hands. Then it was a matter of cutting off the Luke hands, cutting the post off of the Bith hands, and then gluing 14 hands onto 14 arms. Still with the temporary instruments, but this is the current standing of it right now. I've also severed the post off of one of the Luke Jedi heads. I have a project for it. I'll need to Dremel a hole into it, but I'm going to try to put a retro Luke head on a vintage Luke body. Thanks for watching.